Empire leaders questioned, "Whose armada is that?" The answer: Earth's. HFY, the galaxy had long forgotten Earth. Once its people were seen as dreamers, small, fragile beings from a blue planet at the edge of a quiet spiral arm. They had joined the stars centuries ago, humble and eager to learn. When humanity arrived at the Galactic Council for the first time, the mighty empires barely noticed. To them, Earth was just another newcomer destined to vanish in the weight of interstellar politics. That was centuries ago. Now, on the edge of the Orion expanse, the great Imperial Senate gathered in fear. The chamber, large enough to house a moon's core, vibrated with tension. Dozens of species filled their seats, whispering in nervous tones. Their fleets had been shattered, their colonies silenced. Outposts lost contact one after another. Yet no enemy broadcasted demands, no conqueror sent messages of intent. Only one thing was certain: something vast was moving toward them through the void. It began as a rumor, an armada of silent ships, dark and cold, advancing across systems faster than any known fleet. No insignia, no transmissions, only the wreckage of those who tried to intercept. The Empire's admirals dismissed it as pirates or some rogue mercenary group. But when the reconnaissance probes finally sent back images, the truth struck the Senate like a storm. The ships were old in design, yet terrifyingly precise in formation. The hulls bore markings written in a language most had forgotten. Some historians recognized it. It was Terran. At first, the leaders refused to believe. Earth had withdrawn from galactic affairs over 300 years ago. After a series of political betrayals and the Council's exploitation of Terran colonies, the humans had turned inward. They sealed their borders, dismantled their embassies, and vanished from trade routes. For generations, no ship bearing the flag of Earth had been seen. Now they had returned, and their fleet was larger than any single empire had ever fielded. In the Imperial chamber, Grand Chancellor Vorn raised a trembling hand. His voice echoed through the chamber. "Whose armada is that?" A silence followed, broken only by the low hum of the translator systems. Then an aide stepped forward holding a datapad. The hologram flickered, showing the emblem recovered from a wrecked scout ship. An image of a planet half-shadowed, encircled by 13 stars. Beneath it, 2 words appeared in Old Terran script: United Earth. The chamber erupted in chaos. Some shouted for immediate diplomacy. Others called for defense. But none could hide the unease in their voices. For centuries, the empires had treated Earth as weak, useful only for trade and labor. They had stolen resources, divided its colonies, and left humanity to rot at the edge of the stars. And now, humanity was back, stronger than anyone could have imagined. Admiral Wraith of the Empire's Defense Command rose from his seat, his scaled features pale. Their technology shouldn't be this advanced. The last reports placed them 2 centuries behind our warp drives. How did they build such a fleet? An older diplomat replied quietly, "They disappeared." They learned in silence. Far beyond the Council's world, in the void between stars, the Terran Armada advanced. Thousands of ships moved as one, their hulls matte black, absorbing starlight. Massive dreadnoughts led the formation, surrounded by carriers and escort destroyers. No energy trails, no open communications. The fleet was silent, efficient, and unstoppable. Aboard the flagship Dauntless, the Terran commander stood before a panoramic viewport. Beyond it stretched the endless sea of stars, the same stars humanity once looked at with wonder. His voice was calm, almost solemn, as he spoke to his officers. "We gave them peace. We gave them trade. And in return, they took from us, mocked us, and left us to die on burned colonies. Now they will remember." His words were not spoken in rage, but in duty. Humanity had spent centuries preparing, not for conquest, but for survival. When the Council stripped them of support during the famine years, humans built their own agriculture worlds. When the Empire blockaded their borders, they developed stealth drives to slip through space unseen. When the pirates, backed by alien interests, destroyed human colonies, they built ships that could fight without light or sound. Every betrayal became a lesson. Every loss became a blueprint. In the Council chamber, panic grew as reports flooded in. The first Terran fleet reached the outer colonies of the Empire. Defensive satellites fired, but every shot was intercepted mid-space. Human railguns, faster and more precise than plasma cannons, struck from beyond sensor range. Within minutes, the first defense ring was silent. The admirals tried to open communication channels, but the humans ignored them. The Empire sent diplomatic shuttles under banners of truce. None returned. When the Second Fleet emerged from the dark, it became clear this was not an invasion. The Terrans bypassed worlds of no strategic value. They targeted shipyards, supply nodes, command stations, the heart of the Empire's power. Each strike was measured, each victory complete. Within weeks, the Imperial Armada that once ruled half the Orion expanse was gone. The Senate finally voted to send a delegation under the Emergency Treaty. A group of envoys traveled to intercept the Terran flagship. As they approached, their scanners went blind. The Dauntless dwarfed any known ship. Its surface was layered with adaptive armor, and its structure extended for kilometers. When the envoys were granted audience, they were brought to a vast chamber lit by soft blue light. At its center stood the Terran commander, his expression calm but unyielding. The lead envoy bowed slightly, speaking with a voice that tried to hide its fear. "You have shown unmatched strength, Commander. The Council seeks peace. We wish to—" The commander interrupted softly. "Peace was offered once before. You remember how it ended?" The envoy hesitated. "That was long ago. The ones responsible are gone. The new generation wishes to rebuild." The commander looked at the stars beyond the viewport. "Rebuild, yes, that is what we have done. While you fought each other over borders, we built worlds of our own. While your fleets consumed the void with wars, we built an armada not for conquest but for deterrence. You wanted to keep us small. We learned to grow without you." He turned to the envoys. "Now the question is not what you wish. The question is whether you deserve a place in the peace we will build." The envoys exchanged nervous glances. "You cannot mean to destroy the Council. The galaxy will fall into chaos." "The galaxy already lives in chaos," the commander replied. "We merely stopped pretending otherwise." Outside, through the viewport, the stars flickered as smaller ships moved across the void. Terran vessels escorting captured enemy fleets. The humans were not annihilating the defeated. They were reorganizing them. Each captured ship was stripped, its crews sent back with supplies and warnings. No mass killings, no scorched worlds, only a message left behind. Earth has returned. The galactic networks burned with fear and speculation. Merchants spoke of human ships enforcing fair trade routes. Miners whispered that Terran patrols stopped pirates without firing a shot. Colonies that once suffered under corrupt lords reported seeing Terran banners and receiving food shipments. The humans were not simply conquering. They were reshaping order. On the Empire's capital world, Grand Chancellor Vorn watched the broadcasts in silence. The old arrogance of power was gone. He finally understood what every empire had ignored. Humanity's strength was never in technology or numbers. It was in unity. When they were abandoned, they united. When they were betrayed, they adapted. The Chancellor whispered to his aides, "They are not here to rule us. They are here to remind us." And indeed, that was what the Terrans did. They reached the central worlds not with weapons raised, but with terms. Each empire that surrendered was given a charter, a document of fair law, trade rights, and defense pacts. Those who resisted were disarmed but not destroyed. Humanity demanded only one thing, that the new galactic order be built on accountability. For the first time in recorded history, the empires saw what true order meant. Across the stars, fleets realigned. Planets that once feared their neighbors began sending envoys to Earth. Human diplomats, calm and firm, reminded them that strength without compassion was meaningless. They rebuilt the broken relay networks, reopened ancient colonies, and established the Terran Accord, a council that valued equality, not dominance. Years passed and the galaxy changed. Old empires faded into memory. Trade routes flourished under Terran regulation. Pirates vanished, finding no place in the new order. The once feared Armada now patrolled the void not as conquerors but as guardians. Each Terran ship bore a single phrase along its hull: "We remember." For humanity never forgot the centuries of humiliation. But neither did they let vengeance blind them. Their strength was tempered by memory, their justice guided by purpose. In the final session of the reformed Galactic Assembly, held on the neutral world of Auriga, the last question of fear arose again. An elder counselor asked, "What if Earth turns its fleet upon us one day? What if they become what we once were?" The Terran ambassador smiled faintly. "Then it will be our duty to stop them just as we stopped you. Because we are human, and we remember what it means to lose ourselves to power." The chamber fell silent. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy had peace. True peace, born not of fear but of understanding. Far beyond, in the black sea of stars, the Dauntless moved quietly through the void. Its hull reflected no light, its engines left no trail.